on your own. Learned that at a young age, the streets is cold.
It's the San Francisco thing. They ask me why I'm so cool. That cool Bay Area breeze, man. That chill water by the beach, man, by the bridge. It's just a player in me, man. Cook some orange juice.
Numbers, yeah, dices and shit. You know what I'm saying? $500
High
fans
school,
and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was in program things I had to go to college, have some big resume of schooling to be successful. And we was like, everybody that we know that was going to high school, our high school is going pretty good.
Right.
And it's not on the school no, but like the programs
Right.
of what trying to be put. So that's really, I think, my biggest message to anything is like, don't be programmed.
Right.
Like, find out what you want to do, whatever it is, and find a way to do it.
Right.
And like adversity, like, I mean, do you recall adversity in high school or after high school being kind of adversity from society, what they wanted you to do, what you felt you want to do for yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. So, I mean, I knew I was an entrepreneur since like I was a kid, you know? I mean, once I realized that if I did something in return, I would get what I want, I understood that concept at like, maybe like first grade. So I had this friend of mine who had a toy and I was like, I want that toy. You know, my dad wouldn't buy it from me. So I'm like, I'm gonna get it regardless. So what I did was, I asked him, I said, hey man, you know, what do you want for that toy? And he's like, you know, I'm kind of bored with it, this and that. And I said, hey, what if I draw you some pictures and I give you my toy and you give me that? And he said, oh, that's a deal. So I was like, I came home with that toy. My dad was like, what the hell? How you get that? Like, I've been asking him for that. And at that point, I knew, I was like, I can get what I want, you know? If I just put my mind to it and create a solution, I can get what I want, you know? And I knew that at a young age. So when I was going to school, it was hard for me because I'm like, I already know how to get what I want, you know? So I knew I was an entrepreneur at a young age, and it was hard for school because I wasn't really committed to it. You know, I already knew how to make money now.
That's big.
Yeah.
Like, folks think folks are failing because they don't, like, because they're not smart.
Right.
I'm not committed to it because I don't want to do this.
Exactly. There's no passion behind it. And when there's no passion behind it, it's hard to like make movements on it, you know?
It's real. I remember you was telling me too when you first jumped into business, because what do you do exactly? Folks don't know. What do you do exactly?
I do tattoos.
You don't just do average tattoos though.
Yeah. So I do tattoos for a lot of the biggest athletes, you know, coming out this section. You know, Antioch is such like a small town. And, you know, my thing when I was younger, I was like, man, you can't make it big in a small town. And that made me feel like, you know, there go my dreams. You know, I'll never drive a Ferrari. I'll never drive a Lamborghini. I'm from Antioch, you know? There's nothing big happening out here. And it's actually crazy because as I started my tattoo business, I wasn't really looking for the athletes at first, but I used to play basketball myself. So I would go to the gym, and it was so unintentional, but like I said, you know, law of attraction, you know, you are who you attract. And so I like nice things, I just didn't have no money yet. But I like nice things, and I like hooping and making money. And so those are the kind of people I attracted. And a lot of them were athletes, high school athletes and stuff like that. And next thing you know, I just started getting into that network where parents were like, hey, you know, our kids want to get tattooed, look like their favorite athlete. And, you know, with, of course, like permission and all that, can we make it happen? And I was like, this is about 2006 or 7. So this is like LeBron James just coming into the league and all that. So, you know, all these kids want to look like their favorite players. You look good, you play good.
Man, Deion says it.
Right. So, you know, they go in, they come see me, you know. I give them the whole sleeve and all that. They're playing their games. They're going crazy. You know, they're like, I really feel like an NFL player. And so it boosts up their ego. And I started realizing, I'm like, damn, you know, like, next thing you know, I had this one young kid, and he was going ridiculous, you know, and everybody was like, I want to get tatted just like this guy. You know, I want to look just like him. And so just started going from there. And, you know, athletes, they got cousins, uncles, brothers that are in the league, you know, so, and it just expanded from there.
You mentioned like big, like law of attraction. Like, what is law of attraction exactly? Folks don't know what that means.
Law of attraction was actually kind of crazy, right? So one day I'm just bored on Netflix and I see this documentary called The Secret. And I'm like, what is this? And I would decide to watch it, and they talk about law of attraction is the secret to life. You know, you could use it negatively or positively. You know what I'm saying? So you can either attract negative to you or positive. It depends on what you are putting out. If you're putting out positive, you're gonna get a whole bunch of positive. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking negative, like, man, this not gonna work, this not gonna pan out, then guess what? You're right. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you told me too, like early in your career, you start going to events.
Yeah.
And you started learning about self-development.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Oh, man.
I commit my little success to is that, you know what? I'm finding ways to work on myself harder than my job. Like my mind, my body's like a vehicle.
Right.
I gotta tune it up, change the oil, fix this, fix that. If you don't tune it up, it's gonna be out of shape.
Right.
What's more about making money you want to? That's cool. But you gotta worry about your mind, because your mind is gonna help you when a storm comes. A storm will always come.
Most definitely.
What made you go to events first and start working on yourself?
So it was kind of crazy, actually. So my tattoos wasn't panning out the way I wanted it to. I was making cool money, but at the time I was working retail and doing tattoos. And so I'm stuck in between, you know, man, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? But I knew, I set my mind that I'm gonna make it work. And so a friend of mine had made a phone call to me, and he goes, you know, I'm doing this thing, I'm flying around the world now. And I'm like, what you doing, you know? And so he's like, I'm doing this network marketing company. And I'm like, bruh, I don't know what it is, but it sounds good, you feel me? So I went, and I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, I'm not gonna say which one it is. I was like, this is cool, but it didn't fit for me. But one thing that I did like was the structure of the way the business was set up. You know, they taught me how to network, taproot. You know, taprooting is one of the biggest things that I've learned that took my tattoo business to the next level.
What's that in layman's terms?
So taprooting is, for example, right? So say I want a tattoo, for example, because you gotta be real intentional about what you do. You know what I'm saying? And you get intentional results. So say, for example, I want to tap Meek Mill, right? I can't go up to Meek Mill and be like, hey, Meek Mill, I do tattoos, come mess with me. Chances are he's not, you know, because he's like, who the hell is this dude? I have no idea who you are. Why should I trust you? I don't even know who you are. So taprooting, what it does is it brings the theory of, okay, tattooing Meek Mill's cousin, who's not a celebrity, is a lot easier to persuade than Meek Mill.
Yeah.
So now, how can I meet Meek Mill's cousin, right? So now, I believe in the 6 degrees of separation, where everybody knows everybody through 6 people.
I agree.
So now you just gotta tap in. Hey man, you know, any way I could reach out to so-and-so, so-and-so, you work your way up there, you know what I'm saying? And then when I get to Meek Mill's cousin, I'm gonna do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go crazy. This is my only shot. So you go crazy. Now, Meek Mill cousin go up to him, hey man, you should mess with my dude. Guess what? That credibility is way more higher than you coming up to Meek Mill personally.
Yeah. There's a saying that goes like, people tell, stories sell. Like when you got somebody who has your project,
right,
and they are a proof of it,
right,
they can speak to everything, and they're in front of you, that's the best thing. And that's something truth be told, that's why you got more results. You tap me about a lot. But like other than that, like your results is, I've never seen somebody get your kind of results from real stuff like that. This I know in person that got these many results from this many people in the same industry. And all I told you was nice. If you weren't nice, if your results weren't on point, you would have showed that too. And right. So I think like if you're looking to start something, a business, or do something, you gotta be nice at it too, though. Right, most definitely. Work at it too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Right. That's a whole different aspect of the game. Yeah. You know, one part of the game is you working on your craft. You know what I'm saying? You mastering your craft. The other aspect of it is getting it out there. Because you can have the best work, but if nobody knows about you, you're not going to blow up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you can have the best marketing, but if you don't perform, it's not going to work. Yeah. So you got to have both. You know what I'm saying? It's both aspects to the game. So at that point, I mean, I was just blessed because, you know, I was drawing at a young age. You know, me being born in 1986, there was no video games, you know what I'm saying? It was just starting to come out. If you wanted to watch a TV show, you better get up at 3:30 and watch a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better get up and go sit down. There is no recording it. So back in the day when you had all that downtime, I was drawing, you know? And I was born in San Francisco, and I was just surrounded by graffiti. So I was intrigued by it. I wasn't really that good at like drawing like say people or things, but I was good. I knew I was good at like doing words. I was like,
on something you draw, that speaks to immersion. When you
Right.
immerse yourself in anything, you get really good at it by default.
right.
Attraction. It's
Right.
mind working for you.
Right.
He was in the city around tons of graffiti that was nice
Right.
at a young age. So
Right.
without even knowing how to do it, you start learning how to do it. So
Exactly.
it became kind of like second nature to you. Because you can have a dope artist that never seen that ever and struggle with that. But you was a subpar artist in the beginning.
Right.
You've seen it everywhere. You start just knowing how to do it. That's dope.
Exactly. And you know what's crazy too is like now that I really have a lot of time these days to kind of reflect on my whole process. I find myself doing that a lot now. Like, you know, when you finally overcome everything and everything's smooth sailing and, you know, money coming in, and it's just like, damn, man, like the whole struggle was like the whole beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you're like, man, I feel stuck. This sucks. You know what I'm saying? But when you overcome it and you finally get to where you want to get to, in a sense, it's like, holy shit, bro. Like, I miss that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
That's
made
why-
me right there.
That's why people typically do little things that's hard, because they hard.
Right.
Like, and I believe in doing something hard every morning. Like,
Right.
I ain't no big gym buff or anything, but I run a mile in the morning because I want to face something hard every morning and have to boss up and do it.
Right.
As early as 5:40.
The challenge. You up for the challenge.
I wanted to have to show up.
Right.
I want to have to, because it's easy. Like, there's so many soft people out there, not just like soft like streetwise, soft spiritually, mentally.
Right.
Anything gonna shake them. That's
Right.
why you work on yourself enough. You fortify your foundation enough. So when things get windy, you always good.
You're not gonna fold.
There's always rain, always a storm. You either going through a storm, just getting out of one, or finna kind of one. And you got to be
Exactly.
solid the whole time. So if you was talking in a school, like, let's say I'm 19, 18 years old in high school, I'm finna go to college or not, right? I'm not sure I want to do. Like, what? But they know they want to be their own boss.
Right.
What the top 3 things, if you can narrow down 3 things, that you would tell them?
Let me see. I don't know if I can narrow it down to 3 things, but what I tell my kids, because, you know, I got 3 kids, and my oldest is 14, so she's kind of in that situation. And so what I tell her is, you know, whether you like college or not, because you know, I got my own beliefs. I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for her, I try to push it on her, but I want her to be her. You know what I'm saying? Because like like we was talking about earlier, it's like you can't really force anybody to be an entrepreneur. It's either like it's in you or it's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's no problem. You know what I'm saying? Because everything makes the world go round. You know what I'm saying? And so I tell my daughter this, I'm like, if you want to go to college, cool. If you don't, cool. But what you are going to do is anything that you're passionate about, you're going to run that deep all the way. You're going to see it through, all the way through. And she's like, you know, Dad, how do you know what you're passionate about? You know?
That's a big question.
Yeah, it is. And I tell her this.
Smart.
I feel like the way you know what you're passionate about is when you can do it for free.
Church.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't care about the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about this and that. I'm doing it because this is what I love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the money just come with it. You know what I'm saying? It's actually crazy, right? Because when I got into this tattoo thing, it was a thrill. It was a thrill for me because I was like, I used to do graffiti. So, you know, when you see your graffiti on the wall, you driving by, like, hell yeah, I did that. You know, I did that right there. But now it's like a whole different thrill. It's like you'll see somebody walking by and their arm is completely done by you. And everybody's like, who did that? Who did that? And it's like, whoa, like, it's a whole different thrill. And so at first, that was it for me. I didn't care about the money. I was doing $50 tattoos, like $20 tattoos here and there. But it was the thrill for me. And it was also what I fell in love with was meeting new people, you know? That's what I was passionate about too, was like, I'm meeting so many new people, so many different walks of life, and this is free. And they're actually paying me.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? This is a blessing. Like, I'm learning from so many different walks of life, and I'm getting paid. So
that's why you killing though. See, like that's
nuts.
Why you're killing it, because that's a stupid mentality to the game. You're like,
right.
I'm giving, but I'm gaining so much more in value.
Exactly.
Most folks are looking for the check right off the bat.
Right.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's good.
Right.
I found when you worry about just the art and
right.
the process, that's when money comes by itself.
Exactly.
You ain't chasing money.
Right.
You're chasing growth.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's funny actually, because when I was chasing the money, when it was like, man, I gotta make this much by this month, and this, you know what I'm saying? Chasing that 100,000, I was like, man, like it's stressful. And it was affecting my work too, because I'm already thinking in my head, this is only worth $100. You know what I'm saying? But then I would snap out of it. I'm like, dude, this person is giving me hard-earned money. You better snap out of it and perform. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I tell every one of my clients, like, if I would compare this, it's like every single tattoo is game 7. I gotta go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So there is no losing. Like, I gotta go crazy. This is my chance. Like, I don't look for the short term where it's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna make a couple $100. I'm looking at it as, if I kill this, somebody's gonna see it and somebody else gonna see it, and it's gonna expand and spread like wildfire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I always looked at it. And like I said, like, you know, when I stopped thinking about the dollars and the numbers and all that, that's when it started flowing.
Yeah.
Cause then I just got sucked in by the hustle.
You know what I love? This is why I do this. That's a simple rule to live by. Very simple, but the message is not that clear. So this is what wants to happen. We're gonna have more people like you, more people like me, all about understanding. I gotta work on myself. I gotta get sharper. I gotta start getting my brain on point,
right?
So I can show up to game 7, because
right.
I can't worry about the Joneses comparing and all day and pocket watching,
right?
Because when you do that, you're gonna be on the bench.
Right.
You start working on yourself, find your passion, trying new things, getting more shots up.
Right.
More shots are gonna fall. That's, you know, people like you said about being passionate. I got a 16-year-old, same thing. Like, you know, myself plays football, he does good football. We go to league, maybe. We go to college, maybe. I say it's about, for me and you, me watching you work on yourself and transform positively. As long as I see you have a progression and figuring it out and working on yourself hard in your job, we're good. Whatever you want is good.
Right.
The second I feel like you hella comfortable and not working on yourself, that's when I'm on your line. Because
right.
what I refuse to have is a generation that I can control of mundane.
Right.
It's comfortable, easygoing,
right.
Not saying, and that's not about your job status though.
Right.
Because there's some folks out there that make 50 grand a year, is hella happy, and that's dope.
Right,
Like,
right.
Man, you got softball league, you got 4 kids, that's dope. But if you want to start something where you want to be, you know, if you want to start something where you find you free, you're going to get after it at a young age or work very, very hard. And
right.
I found the more you work on yourself, the more you start realizing your weaknesses,
right.
Start strengthening them up, and start just re-edifying your positivity, start re-edifying your positive beliefs. What you'll find is that, at least for me, it started just kind of falling in my lap. Like I work hard, but like I feel like I'm more blessed to work with great people.
Right, exactly.
That put me on.
Exactly.
In the right direction.
It's kind of crazy how they just fall into your path. You know what I mean? Right. It's crazy. It's unreal, actually. You know, I have a friend of mine who I met, and he was one of the first multimillionaires I ever met. And I was like, man, like, he's so cool, so humble, this and that. And it's like, I never knew, like, I would have a multimillionaire friend. And then, you know, goes to say, it's like, you got 9 millionaire friends, you're gonna be the 10th one.
Yes.
You know, so I started surrounding myself with those kind of people, and they just came and got attracted to me, because I feel like, you know, I read this quote before, and it was like, there's nothing more undeniable than a man that's on fire. You know what I'm saying? So it just reeks out like energy, where it's like, dude, this dude is gonna do something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about you, because I'm like, dude, I'm looking on my Instagram, I'm like, this dude is going places. Like, let me link back up with you. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we were just talking about a few years ago, we linked up. You know, I was barely making 100 grand a year, and, you know, you were still doing what you're doing now, but now obviously you're deeper in it.
I was definitely just starting, right?
Right. See, yeah. So we were both like hungry, and that's what I felt like, as you get older after high school, friends will like all eventually all split apart because people outgrow each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You no longer have a common future. You have a common past. You know what I'm saying?
Say it again.
You don't have a common future. You have a common past. You know what I'm saying? So with you, it's like, man, we came from the mud, the same section, the same continuation school. Dude, we was counted out, man. Counted the fuck out. Like, man, it's crazy. So, seeing what you're doing, it attracted me to you because I'm like, bro, that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Birds of a feather flock together, So, and I feel like when you get with like-minded individuals, it allows it to be even bigger. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I think every high schooler should do, or a junior college person, or college, or grown adult, or 30-year-old millionaire-year-old, whatever. He said, in high school, the people you work with or partner with, sometimes y'all spread apart. In high school, I didn't see it that way. My partner's my partner, we partners forever, right? But I'll challenge you to do right now. Look at your cell phone. The last 10 people you text message. If you're not the leader in that group, you're following that group. So that kind of is along the lines of don't be a smart person, don't be a smart person in the room. Start getting different rooms. That's what you did early. You got in rooms with people that are doing big.
Right.
I look at people that are killing it. I think like the influence you have, people you're working with, that's really admirable. And you honestly are putting the mark on the game big time. What you're doing is big.
It's honestly like I can't believe it myself. Like every day I'm on cloud nine. I'm like, I can't believe it, I turn on the TV on Saturdays, my tattoos are on NCAA, like, you know what I'm saying? College games. Yeah, man, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing, man. I never thought that it would get this far. It all just started off with an idea of like, hey, like, I want to make something happen, Me being a young dad, I was like, I gotta make something happen. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow up fast and, me catching, unfortunately, me being young and dumb, I caught a misdemeanor case. It was a felony, got pushed down to a misdemeanor and, made some bad decisions and I couldn't get a job. So, I had to make something happen, man. And I'm just blessed that it panned out,
Yeah. The Bible says, the first shall be last, last shall be first. When they count folks out, count me in.
Right.
And I found that no seed sprouts off the ground without hella rain. I think
Most
adversity,
definitely.
I think doubt, I think cases, I think police, I think injustices, those are all rains on the seed. Here's the good part though. Every storm run out of rain eventually.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you gotta pluck the grass, pluck the seeds, because then when it sprout, we never just plant one seed and get multiple fruit. No, you always plant one seed and get multiple fruit. You don't ever just plant one seed and get one fruit. You get one seed, multiple fruit because you work hard for it, man. So you work hard, man. I appreciate you. So, like, to folks out there in the Bay Area, Pittsburgh, Antioch, Frisco, San Jose, what would you tell them that's trying to go to the next level?
Man, just chase your dreams, And honestly, it's a journey that not many are willing to take. But, if you're up for it and you're not gonna fold, it's the best thing that could ever happen to you, man. So,
not gonna fold.
Man, for real, man. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Man.
And so you just gotta
be excited, right? I can't sit still. You are staying these songs.
Yeah, for real,
Everybody
man.
won't do it. You might fold, you might not
Right.
go hard. Everybody ain't gonna do it.
But see, you know what the main aspect of it is you gotta have a reason why you do it.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing it just for yourself, you might not make that jump, that leap. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, I want the new Bentley truck, right? Okay, I want that new Bentley truck. You're gonna work. 6 months, that energy goes down. That Bentley truck not even all that. You know what I'm saying? I'll just get something else. You know what I'm saying? So it gotta be worth the grind, the pain, the struggle. You know what I'm saying? It gotta wake you up when you don't want to wake up. It gotta be what gets you out of bed, when you don't feel like working today. Go even harder because of that reason why. And, just for example, like my reason why is like, I wanted to raise my kids, I don't want my kids being at a babysitter or with their grandparents because they're learning how to be whoever they're growing up with. You know what I'm saying? Like my my oldest daughter, like, you know, her being with her grandparents all the time, she thinks and acts like her grandparents. You know, no disrespect, you know, that's cool, do what you gotta do, and that's how it is. But I'm saying, like, if you was to be with your kids all the time, and you had the money to you really teach them how to be you and be how would I say, like an extension of you, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that would be your job well done as a parent. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do it. You know, that's my reason why. Like, I want my kids to be like me. You know what I'm saying? I want to lay down that foundation where it's like, damn, like, you know, Pops was counted out, you know? He was counted out. He didn't have no way out, and he still made one in front of our eyes. You know what I'm saying?
There's a saying that goes, when the why is big enough, the how will show itself.
Exactly.
And like, that's what it is. If your reasons are more, you'll figure it out. Like,
Right.
folks, and I ain't knocking them on, like, we live in a real soft generation.
Right.
A lot of people are soft. They want it to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I have an adverse moment, it's supposed to be adverse.
Right.
That makes me go hard on the
Right.
I don't tuck my tail.
For me, I feel like when it's a hard moment, that means it's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? Because it like you said, it doesn't last for long.
Yeah.
You know. So when things get tough, I look at it as like, man, this gonna be a big blessing coming up, whatever it is, because times are real hard right now. So, you know, it never lasts too long. You just gotta stick it through, you know. But you gotta be intentional about what you do. You can't just sit there and pray and wish on something and not do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It could be, you just gotta take small steps.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. And like, small steps equals compound interest.
Exactly.
Just do a little every day.
Exactly.
Goes a long way. Like, you got a team of people, a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody do a little, nobody gotta do a lot.
Right.
What happens is we do good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna party. Thursday, the cat got sick. You gotta find a way to go in and not fold, whatever.
Exactly.
And the more you do that, in the beginning it might be hard. Like, I'm just understanding this part maybe a year or two ago. When I have a setback, it doesn't mean I'm all bad. It means
Right.
I had a setback. It means, so what, you messed up. Get back on the horse, keep going.
Right.
That sounds easy to say out loud. But when you're going through a moment when you got dead or something big happened to wipe you out, it's easy to go, man, poor me.
Right.
But now, you got to flip it and go,
Wow.
one, what's good in this moment? What have I learned from this moment?
Right.
And now, massive action time.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
It's game time. I think the Bay Area, California, is a great spot to be right now.
Oh, man.
I'm running out of here because of tax issues.
So-
I mean, whatever. all that shit
You
right
know
now.
what's crazy actually is because at first I was a traveling artist. My mindset was, man, Antioch's too small. You know, I tatted everybody out here. So I was like, I gotta expand. I started flying out to Vegas, Atlanta, Charlotte, you know, all over the place. And I was like, man, at the end of the day, after all of that, the Bay Area was what was paying me the most. And I was like, what? This don't make no sense. Because when I went out to Vegas and I was charging at the time, I think I was charging $300 a tattoo. And I said, man, you know, my tattoos are $300. They were like, what? That's outrageous. And I was like, what? That's outrageous that you even reacted like that. So I was like, huh? And then when I came to the Bay and I'm charging $300, everybody was cool, you know? And I was like, and then it made sense. This is where the money's at. This is one of the most expensive places to live. So it's not that this place doesn't have money. There's plenty of money out here. You just gotta find your way in there, in the loop. You know what I'm saying? To get in there. Because you got Silicon Valley, like, you know, all the big social media stuff is out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is where all the next up and coming multi-millionaires are at. You know what I'm saying?
Like, there's this thing I got, like, hoarding money doesn't make more money.
Right.
Going to make more money,
Right.
Going to find ways to add more value to the marketplace.
Right.
That makes more money. Finding more ways to add more value to the marketplace. Not putting your money in the shoebox and staring at it. No,
Right.
throw money as investment and
Mhm.
10x it. Throw that into what
But
happens.
exactly. You know, see, not everybody is like that. Some people who are conservative, and that's why it's kind of hard, you know. And that's what I'm learning now is that, like, when you're invested in stuff, don't just jump into anything.
Yeah.
You know, think about it too, because you don't want to just jump into it because I'm trying to invest, and you could end up hurting yourself that way too. You know what I mean? So I just say, like, my rule of thumb is, one, you gotta be passionate. I'm big on being passionate about what you do. If your heart's in it, you're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So be passionate about what you're investing in too. You know what I'm saying? Have some knowledge on it. So, you know, if you don't know anything about stocks, but everybody's doing stocks and you just want to throw your money in there with it, you might lose because you don't know what you're doing. You might have a better chance of putting your money on the dice because at least you know how to shoot dice. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like that too. You know, take your risk, but make your risks like something that you're knowledgeable about. Exactly.
I mean, so for you, like, I mean, you had some big name athletes and sports ain't going nowhere. What's next for you? Like, what are you doing?
So what's next for me is actually, man, just keep digging deep into this, you know. I had just started tattooing this kid. His name is Marjan Beauchamp. And kid out of Yakima. And this dude is going straight to the NBA from high school. So, you know, that's big. And so tattooing him, that's keeping my clientele young and fresh. You know what I'm saying? And so he got a lot of buddies out there in LA too, and just been expanding out there in LA a lot, you know. A friend of mine had got into my ear and said, you know, you're a big fish in a small pond, you know? He's like, Hollywood might be the right spot for you, you know, considering, you know, what I have in my resume, you know? So I've been thinking about that. You know, I've been placing money in different investments. I have an exotic rental car company that I'm working on right now.
Kind of, you got the exotic car business, you got the investments, you got, you know, your brand here. What's the next 3 steps?
I'm also interested in looking to, because I believe visuals are key. You know, visuals that's something that can never expire. You know what I'm saying? You can, as long as you got that visual, you'll live forever. You know what I'm saying? So when I want more visuals, because I feel like what I'm doing right now is so crazy and so over the top, because it's like I don't know any other tattoo artists who flying around tattooing multimillionaires, driving the craziest cars. I was just in a Lambo truck 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was driving a 488 Ferrari down Hollywood on Sunset. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else doing that? And if people are doing it, I want to see that. That's what I want to see. So that's my goal too, is I want to take my brand to the next level by showing that you can live this kind of crazy lifestyle. If you work hard and you passionate about it, you know, you can do it. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it, man. Like, people thought I was fucking crazy. It was like, dude, you'll never drive a Ferrari. What? I was just in a Ferrari a couple weeks ago. What you mean? Because
they trying to put their living beliefs
right.
on you.
You know what I look at it is too, is that people are so set on what they want you to take the steps, like, oh, you got to go to college, get a good job, and then you can be rich. You know what I'm saying?
Who made those rules? Like,
right, exactly. Yeah. But if you don't follow those, you're stupid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of backlash we got to deal with as entrepreneurs. Man, am I dumb? Why? I don't get it. Why this don't work for me? Why school didn't work for me? I don't know. But then all of a sudden, when you click and you find your passion and you run with it, it starts making sense. Like, oh, this whole time, this wasn't for me. This was for me. You know what I'm saying? And then, so, you know, I believe that 3 + 3 = 6, right? But so does 4 + 2. So does 5 + 1. So we can all be millionaires, but we don't have to take the same path.
Different vehicles.
Exactly. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Well,
so that's how I look at it as.
That's important, man. And again, like, I'm just thankful, man, to be alive right now. Because, like,
most definitely.
Social media just started to turn up. Pandemic has, I think, opened the door for a lot of good things to happen.
Most definitely.
And I think as long as we focus on working on ourselves, hard on our job, adding value, it's gonna be easier than what it has not been. Like, those past times where it was hard to get acknowledged by an artist, or hard to get a truck, or now you're rating them out. That's how it always goes.
Right.
Once upon a time, you will stumble through the internet
right.
and find us.
Right.
Oh, you're the guy.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's how every adverse moment is in life on everything I love. If you really look at an adverse moment in life, after it always comes growth.
Right.
Now, how many times will you get off that canvas though? When you get off that canvas, when you get dropped, we get up plenty of time because we know we down, we don't gotta stay down. So that's my message, man. I want folks to hear this and be like, you know what? I know I'm down right now. I don't care what my parents said. I don't care what my partner said. I don't care what nobody said. What do I want for myself? And how bad do I want it? If I'm passionate, working myself, I can get it. I can drive that Ferrari. I can drive that Lambo. I can drive that Bentley truck. And that's all I just do, man. Thank you, bro, for your time.
Hey, it's all good, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, this person, man, we got this again, man.
It's all good, my guy. It's all good. Next time we gonna be in the Lambo.